Yes, people. Welcome back to another transfer daily show. We're live. We're talking outgoings and incomings in today's show. We're going to be live for a good period today. So make sure, people, you are smashing that like button. You are subscribing to the channel. And let's dive into it all then. We're not messing about today, guys. We're talking Alexander Isak straight away. We're not messing about. Let's see how the chat is first of all. Big up and smash the likes. Yes, smash them likes. Big up to Curtis in the chat, people. Let's try and get these likes up to 20. We've already got 10 people in the house. If we sign Isak, we win the quad. Mate, I think we win the quad for the next 5 years. I'm joking. Looking forward to the show, my guy. Big up. Road to 1.6k people. Get my guy there ASAP. Yeah, man. Subscribe to the channel. We're 26 away now. What's your thoughts? Can it happen? I'm gonna be giving you my opinion on that, mate, very, very soon. Whether I think it can happen or not, or is it a next summer thing? I know we've just signed Wirtz, but I'm being greedy. I want Isak too. yeah, smash that like. How many likes are we already on today's show? We're already on 12 likes. Let's get these likes up to 20. Big up to N90 in the house. Go and give him a subscribe. If you're free, bro, hop on, man. He's on the road to 50 subs. So let's try and help him get there too. Smash the likes, people, and let's get into the news then. So this is what FABRIZIO Romano had to say late last night. Alexander Isak has been Liverpool's dream target since day one, but it remains complicated. Now, I did also see he said something else, and I need to find it, because he did say it's a complicated deal, but it's not impossible. Do you remember when we inquired about Florian Wirtz? Everyone said it was impossible. Everyone said no, he's going to Bayern Munich or Manchester City. They're way ahead in the race for Florian Wirtz. Can lightning strike twice? We know Alexander Isak is Liverpool's dream target. It's been that. He's been Liverpool's dream target since, for months and months. Yeah, no worries, bro. Don't worry about it, mate. We all know he's been Liverpool's dream target for months and months and months, right? And I still think he's on number one. I'm gonna run a poll. Do Liverpool try and sign Isak this summer? Yes. No. Let's run a poll straight away. Got 25 people in the building. People, make sure you're smashing that like button and you are subscribing to the channel. It is obviously very important you do so. On today's daily transfer news, if you like Liverpool content, football content overall, then this is the place to be. We are live every single day, giving you the latest Liverpool news, videos, shorts, and live streams. So make sure you're liking the stream, and you are subscribing to the channel. So yeah, let's get into it. So that is not all regarding Alexander Isak, guys. There is more news. This is what Lewis Steele had to say about Isak and on the situation with him. This is what he said. He said Newcastle don't want to sell Isak for cheap. It'll have to be a ballpark figure of 130 million to 140. Are Liverpool realistically going to pay that in a summer where they just signed Wirtz? Hard to see, but I wouldn't completely rule it out. This is a new era, people. This is a different Liverpool now. This is a Liverpool where we're showing the ambition. And there's no reason to complain. Big up to Azan Kabak, yes, he played centre back. He did play centre back. Big up to you, mate. We can't possibly land Isak, can we? Did people say that about Florian Wirtz, though, mate? Didn't everybody say that about Florian Wirtz? You know? That's what everyone said about Florian Wirtz. If you remember, they said, oh, can it realistically happen? This and that. And we got laughed to the bank, and now he's going to be doing his medical. So anything is possible. I think, says LFC for Life 66. Interesting, okay. We've got 27 people in the building. Let's get these likes up, people. Get subscribing. Yeah, smash the likes as always. But I think it's really, really interesting, people, because I said for months I don't think we're going to sign Isak. But my mind has actually been changed. And the reason is we've known for some time that the concrete name we want in terms of a striker is Alexander Isak. There's no other striker that we've been linked to heavilier than him. And my reasonings of why I think this deal could happen is we've not really been linked to many other strikers. We've been linked to Isesco's a little bit, Hugo Ekitike a little bit as well. And we've known for some time the striker is the main priority for Liverpool this summer. So why aren't we heavily linked with one striker? I believe Liverpool are going to try for Isak as much as they possibly can. Then they will turn to all the alternatives if it got to a point where it's just not looking likely we're going to do it. I believe if Liverpool was to sign Isak, you would have to hear some big information in the next 3 to 4 weeks, mainly due to the fact that this signing would be astronomical, not only for Liverpool but for Newcastle. They will want time to spend the money to assess the situation. How can we handle replacing Isak? This and that. That's what they will be looking at. So you'll have to take those kind of points into consideration when it's coming to Isak. And I do feel like, in my opinion, the reason why you could potentially see a domino effect as to why it could happen is this is interesting. I'm going to bring up something now about João Pedro. João Pedro, bear with while I find it. This came out yesterday. Exclusive. Newcastle transfer talks set to open with a 16 million rated Brighton forward João Pedro. The question I have to ask to you is João Pedro going to come and sit on the bench? Because he knows Isak is going to be the main guy. Anthony Gordon on the left. Murphy, if he's still going to be on the right, let's take go and get a right winger. You have to think about these sort of things, right? And if they're not going to spend £60 million on a player that's going to be on the bench. Maybe that's to rotate with Isak, because we know he has got a couple of injury problems from time to time. So they're not heavily reliant on his goal output that he brings to the club. Or is this potentially seeing up a future without him? Now, he has got 3 years left on his contract, Isak. And you think he's on about 120 grand a week? So this is Isak's stature. So he's on 120 grand a week and he's got 3 years left. So Newcastle are in a situation where they don't need to sell him right now because they've got 3 years left. But within the next year, that conversations will probably have to happen. Because Isak, guys, is going to be 26 this year. So he's going to be thinking, I'm going to be going into my prime in the next year or two. Am I going to want to stay at Newcastle? Am I going to want to go to a club where I can win titles consistently? Because we know Newcastle are still on the road to doing that. These are things that you have to take into consideration. Isak as a player with his agent, so or do him as a player. Does he? I think me personally he's going to stay, but I wouldn't completely rule out this deal, and the reason is because we know what Liverpool are like. If they really want to play, they actually do try. Do you know what I mean? Hugo Ekitike would be a risk signing, was on the other hand, Alexander Isak would be now and never signing for Liverpool. Ekitike is a risk in terms of what you'd want them to produce. By the way, people, we're 4 likes away from 20. So get subscribing, smash that like button on the channel, as we are on that road to 1.6k subscribers, and we want to try and aim to get there by the end of the week. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you are subscribing to the channel to stay up to date with the latest Liverpool content and Isak news, if news is going to be popping around him. Now, what I also wanted to bring up is about João Pedro's, funny enough. Brighton defender Igor Julio on João Pedro's future. If I were going to Big Six, I'd go to Liverpool. I think it'd fit perfectly there. That's what he had to say. We have got a lot of talking points. Liverpool are involved in the Isak story. He's a concrete target for Liverpool. The club's officials have already spoken to agent multiple times, and they are very confident. Isak moves his window. Isak wants 120 million. I mean, this guy's got 11 ex-admin Anfield sector. The thing is with Isak, right? How much? No, not Isak. How would Newcastle be willing to structure the deal? We know they've had interests in Jarell Quansah, in Joe Gomez, previously in the past. Are they willing to go and, if we were to say to them, look, here's Quansah, we value him at 40 million. We know you need centre backs because of Shah. Botman's got injury problems. Dan Burns, obviously, like 32, 33 plus. So they're going to be looking for that next centre back to come into the club. And it could be a fresh start for Jarell Quansah. Would Newcastle be willing to say, look, we'll take Quansah and we'll accept 100 million plus Quansah? Because I think everyone values Quansah 30 to 40 million ish. That's a reasonable fee. And if they want 150 million, that obviously chops down the price. And with Liverpool looking to probably bring in like a Jurel Hato, obviously he's going to be covering the left back and the centre back role. So, we're covering ourselves in that position as well. So I'm thinking, how I'm thinking about this is, would Newcastle be willing to do that as a separate deal where, look, 100 million, you also have Quansah? Is that something Newcastle would be willing to do? Because they have had interest in him. Don't forget, guys, they did try to get him last summer because they wanted him a part of the Anthony Gordon deal. So, don't be surprised potentially if they revisited that, if I'm being honest. But yeah, people, we have got 41 people in the building. Let's get these likes up to 25. We always aim for 50 likes on every single stream. We're going to be live for a good hour and a half today. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're smashing that like button as we are on that road to 1.6k subscribers. Big up to every single person who is in the chat and that is watching the stream. So make sure you do all of those good things. Now, let me pull up some other stuff. Guys, we are going to come back to Isak, but I wanted to go over a couple of other things. Update regarding Andy Robertson. is that Andy Robertson has made no decisions on his future yet. He will take a break and discuss everything with Liverpool. He has a great relationship with the club and full respect. No talks on the fee will happen until the player decides options. So obviously we saw a couple of days ago that they have concrete interest in Andy Robertson, Atletico Madrid. And that is going to be interesting to see how this comes to fruition. Let me just change. There we go. Refresh that. Yeah, guys, let's get these likes up. We're 3 likes away from 25, so let's get those firing up. So this is obviously the news that's coming out about Robertson, that he obviously hasn't made his decision yet. But then there was also talks that he would be willing to go to Atleti, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one tackles. I expect the decision to probably be made within probably the next week or two, if I'm being truly honest. About Andy Robertson, this is a deal where I think could move quite quickly, in the sense of I probably do expect him to go there, if I'm being honest. But yeah, guys, make sure you are liking the video and you are subscribing. Let's read some comments. Isak is injury prone. Yes, he is a good player, but not 130 million. If he is going to be on the treatment table, we can't have another shot to go for. Nick ultimates that young German kid is going to be a star. How much is he going to cost? And can you rely on him to lead the line for Liverpool in a title race? These are questions you're going to have to ask yourself. And the thing is, with Alexander Isak, we know he has a couple of injury problems, but his numbers in terms of games has actually gone up in terms of him becoming more fit. Last season, he played 34 matches. The season before that, 30. Then the season before that, 22. So he played 34 matches in the league, 6 in the cup. That's already 40. So he played 40 games last season. 40 games. I'm taking Isak for 40 games. I'm sorry. I'm taking Isak for... If you give me Alexander Isak for 25 to 30 games, we win the league. Simple as that. I don't want him to go. Robbo, we want 10 mil. Yeah, we do. We want about 10 million quid. Do I think Liverpool will get that? Probably will, to be honest. I do think Liverpool will probably get the fee they're asking for, although they are trying to think about something around getting him on a free. And I'm like, no. And we all know who the agency and all that is. We don't need to go into that. Let me see if there's any more about Andrew Robertson that we can bring up for you. There is Andrew Robertson. Where did I bookmark it? I think that's all regarding Andy Robertson's future. Although, yeah, this is what came out yesterday, that Atletico Madrid have placed Lucas Digne on the list of alternative options should their interest in Andrew Robertson reach a dead end. Robertson has been identified by the La Liga side as a summer transfer target, with the future of the Scotland captain clouded by an anticipated arrival at Anfield of Milos Kerkez. Then there have been more suggestions that Atletico are looking to pay as little as €5 million and 4.2 million should matters progress. 4.2 million. No, I'm sorry, but we can get more than that. Andy Robertson is still a decent enough left back to be able to come in and do a job. Yes, at times last season, he was terrible defensively and not as prolific as he once was going forward. But 4.2 million, that's basically just selling him for free. No, 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 no. No thanks. I think I reckon you can double that and get close to 10 million if I'm being truly honest. I know he's got 1 year left, and I think he's 32 this year, Robbo. Andrew Robertson. Oh, he turned 31 this year, so Robertson's 31. For a 31-year-old, for what he's done in his career, he's still got a bit of a career left in him in Europe. For me, I think, you can definitely pay up to 8 to 10 million quid. I'm sorry, but yeah, we are going to have to wait and see, people, whether Robertson's future will be decided or not. I think it's going to be very interesting. I think it does heavily depend on whether the club, what they're doing with Kostas Tsimikas. Because if they're bidding Tsimikas, there's more chance he could stay. If not, then I think Robertson will be sold. We're not going to have 3 left backs next season, and obviously Robertson's going to be on like 150 to 160 grand a week. I just don't particularly see that, in my opinion. And obviously we'll have to wait and see how that should progress. See what else we have got. Should we talk about Mr. Nunez? Mr. Nunez. And then we'll go to Harvey Elliott because there's some other stuff on him. So we have got a lot to talk about in today's show. This is what Fabrizio Romano said. Discussions between Napoli and Darwin Nunez continues as he's high on the shortlist. Talks ongoing with the players' camp scheduled also this week. Nunez has also proposals from Saudi Pro League and more European clubs. Yeah, because we know Milan and Atletico Madrid obviously do withstand an interest in Darwin, and I believe his situation is going to be wrapped up in the next couple of weeks, if I'm being honest. And yeah, apparently Liverpool have set a 51 million asking price for Darwin Nunez, minimum from AC Milan and Napoli. So you would expect. I think the decision. Obviously, we know he's going to be sold. I think this just heavily comes down to now whether Darwin, where he wants to go. I think that's just going to come down to that. If he wants to go to Saudi, I think Liverpool will sell him to Saudi. I think Liverpool would rather sell him to Saudi, just due to the fact that the money there is obviously going to be more better for us, and he'll be on a better wage, etc. So I think Liverpool would prefer to sell him to Saudi. If I'm being real with you, I don't think they would want to take anything less. I expect I expect Darwin to be sold for minimum 60 million. I think you could see a world where we sell him to Napoli and we say, look, we sell you for 50 million, 10 mil add-ons. If Darwin gets, 15 goals and you man win the title, you have to give us some in add-ons. How much did you buy him for? We brought Darwin for, well, all his add-ons actually hasn't been achieved. We bought him for a base of 65 million, I believe, and then the rest was add-ons, so about 20 more million add-ons, and I think he's only hit 2-3 of those. So yeah, I think Darwin's going to be sold for 50 to 60 with add-ons. We have got 35 people in the building, 44 now. Let's get these likes up to 30. We're 2 likes away from 30. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you are subscribing. We have 5 subs from 1,580. We want to keep pushing towards that. Try and aim towards that towards the end of the week, if that is possible. So let's keep on the journey towards that. Big up to every single person in the chat. Get liking and get subscribing. What I come to Isak, tell me. What are you asking? Isak's going to Liverpool? Is that what you're asking? But yeah, 55 people in the building. Big up to every single one of yourselves. Get subscribing, and we have still got to talk about Harvey Elliott, his future, of his links. We're going to be speaking, going back to Isak. So if you want to stay tuned for the Isak chat, make sure you stay in the stream. And we're also going to be talking about some links with Hugo Ekitike and some other players like Quansah and Julian Alvarez. So we're going to be doing that. Big up to everyone that is watching. Liverpool Isak, what time do Isak come to Liverpool? What? Are you asking, is he coming to Liverpool? What time? Yeah, he's coming to Liverpool. He's going to be at Liverpool in 20 minutes. No, we're going to be working back on Isak, mate, later on in the show. So make sure you stick around for that. So yeah, guys, Napoli, are gonna probably have talks. I mean, they know Liverpool are gonna want a decent fee, so I'd assume they're probably willing to pay it, if I'm being truly honest, because we know that Liverpool wants somewhat of a decent fee for Darwin. So I expect talks and stuff like that to be probably a bit more advanced within the coming weeks. What should we talk about next, guys, on the show? So yeah, that's the latest on Darwin Nunez. He's probably going to be sold within the next couple of weeks. And obviously his future is going to be sort of decided. He will leave Liverpool, as many people have stated and confirmed. Guys, big news. Aren't Harvey Elliott, Aston Villa leading the race to sign Harvey Elliott. So I actually think this would be a really good move for Harvey. A team that's competing around the European stages. They're going far into cup competitions, stuff like that. Got to the FA Cup semi-final. So he's still going to have, I think Harvey Elliott could tune out a really good career, potentially as someone like an Aston Villa. I think that's a club where the fans will get behind you, the atmosphere is quality there, this and that. I think that would be a really, really good move for Harvey Elliott, in my opinion, if he goes to Aston Villa. And I think we'll value him at around 30 to 40 million. And I think that would be a decent price to ask for, if I'm being honest. Big up to everyone that is watching. So yeah, guys, I expect Harvey to be sold. Again, Harvey Elliott is going to be sold. Like, I do feel sorry for him a bit, because I actually like him as a player, but as I stated many times, he just doesn't fancy him. He doesn't suit the way that we want to play football. If this was Jurgen Klopp, I think it would stick around because I think he could do a role in the Klopp system in the eights, maybe off the right as well. So I think Tuna has still a decent career. He's still young, he's still 21, 22. He's done a lot in his career. He's won 2 Premier Leagues with Liverpool, multiple cups. Been a part of some big games, some big moments as well. So I think the club will wish him well. He's done a job that many people would love to do, completing his dream of playing for Liverpool. And I'll be intrigued to see if Aston Villa do pursue the move for Harvey, because I do think the next coming weeks is going to be around outgoings, in my opinion. So yeah, Aston Villa are leading the race for Harvey. Now, for a lot of people, I've been asking about Julian Alvarez. This is what Fabrizio Romano has to say. A swap deal with Atletico Madrid involving Darwin Nunez and Julian Alvarez is not a possibility for Liverpool. So everyone can politely forget about Alvarez, coming to Liverpool, this and that. It's not going to happen, guys. Unfortunately, it is not going to happen, So it's one of those ones where our alternatives are going to have to change. I don't know, mate. Yes, man. Big up to yourself, Charlie, mate. Big up to yourself, people. We've got 43 people in the building. We are 6 likes away from 40. So if you haven't hit that like button, make sure you are liking the video, you are subscribing to the channel, to stay up to date with the latest Liverpool content and football content overall. So, yeah, Alvarez is not going to happen. I think, Liverpool would appreciate, they would love Alvarez at the football club, but a swap deal is just not likely. Whether that's just due to the fact that Alvarez wants to continue to stay in Spain, the deal would become too complicated, because what do Athletic value Darwin as compared to what we value him as, and what do Athletic value Alvarez as to compare what to we value him as. And I feel like swap deals and stuff like that, they're very complicated to do anyway. That's why most people do them separately rather than in the actual deal. They are sometimes very hard to do, unfortunately. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but Alvarez, it's not going to happen, guys, unless something was absolutely changing. Liverpool sold Darwin and then did as a separate, complete deal. Yeah, it's just not going to happen, if I'm being honest. However, Endo, I've just seen, I'm staying. I have a contract. It's up to me to make my final decision. Basically, I'm staying for now. So yeah, Endo will be staying at Liverpool. The Japanese Messi is staying at Liverpool next season. He has basically just gone and confirmed. That's a big up to Endo. I want to keep Endo around, if I'm being honest. I'm not in this camp where people will want to sell him, if I'm being honest. I'm not in that camp. No, I do not want to sell Wataro. So yes, let me just check Twitter to see if there's anything new. How many likes we on? 34 likes. Talk more on Isak. Any more news? You know what we'll do? We'll talk on Isak when we get to 40 likes. We get to 40 likes, guys, and we will talk about Alexander Isak. How about that? That is a deal, yes. I will speak about Mr. Alexander when we get to 40 likes. There's a deal for you. How about that, huh? Big up to everyone that is watching, and make sure you are subscribing. Let me see what else. Apparently, Liverpool are willing to let Quansah leave the club for the right money this summer, with the defender valued at 40 million. So Liverpool value him at 40 million quid. That's no surprise. I mean, I keep expecting him to what I'm trying to say is I doubt he stays if he goes for a little less. I personally think, in my opinion, I actually could see Woodward. I think he might stay, to be honest. I think he might stay. I do. I've got a theory and an opinion that, excuse me, Mr. Alexander, Quansah is going to stay at the club. I just think, would you sell Quansah for 40 million? If so, do you want Hato? Let's ask a poll. Are you selling Quansah for 40 million? Yes. No. There we go. Let's ask that poll. Are you selling Quansah for 40 million quid? Let me know. Are you doing that? Me? I like him, man. I like him. I do. I want Quansah to stay. But yeah, guys, get voting on the poll of what you would do with Quansah. Would you keep him? Would you sell him? I doubt LFC can afford Isak, but if we can, that would be very, very great. For us, many people said we couldn't afford Florian Wirtz, mate. So, yeah, I mean, take that with a pinch of salt, what you will. So, yeah. Big up to everyone that's in the building. Just check. But yeah, Quansah to stay or go. What are you doing? It's split right now, 50-50. 2 votes for 2. How do I actually... But yeah, let me know, what are you doing with Quansah? For me, I'm keeping him. The only way I am selling him for 40 million is if we bring in a centre-back that is somewhat better than him. Because if we're selling him and we're getting, I don't know, some Neeby CB centre-back, then I'm going to be like, no, I don't think we should have done that. Sell Quansah, keep Gomez, more experience. Can play right back, left back as well. But Charlie, what would you do with Quansah, though, in terms of the money with him? Like, are you just reinvesting that back in the squad? I've seen bare people saying we should we should sell your Quansah, your Gomez, and just put it all for Isak. I'm like, okay then, so we're just rocking up with Kanate and Van Dijk next season. I'm only selling him if we're guaranteed to get an advocate replacement for him, if I'm being honest. Other than that, no. Absolutely not. If I'm being honest. Sell 40 mil if nobody offers 40 mil, keep him. Fair enough. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Smash the likes. 40 mil Victor Isak. Yeah, I promise the chat when we get to 40 likes, we're going to speak about Alexander Isak. Also, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button on the channel. Let me also have a look at some other bits and bobs. So this is what IndyKaila Isak said. After finalising the signing of Florian Wirtz this weekend, Liverpool is expected to wait for the sale of Darwin Nunez before making another move in the transfer market. Luis Diaz is set to stay, as FC Barcelona is currently focusing all efforts on signing Nico Williams, who only wants to join Barca. So yeah, that's no surprise in terms of that. I said it for some time that I think Liverpool will probably make their next big move in the market when they've got all the outgoings and stuff like that they need to do. So yeah, that's what I expect, in my opinion. How many likes are on? 42. So okay, then let's talk about Mr. Isak. So let's go back to the chat of him. This is what FABRIZIO Romano had to say. Again, for the people that are new, that are literally joining the what's that called? The stream. So let's have a look what he said again. So this is what he said. He said that Alexander Isak has been a Liverpool dream target since day one, but obviously remains complicated. Now this is what Steele has to say. Newcastle don't want to sell Isak for cheap. It will have to be a ballpark figure of 130 million, 140. Are Liverpool realistically going to pay that in a summer where they signed Flying Wirtz? Hard to see, but wouldn't completely rule it out. So he's stating that don't completely rule out the Isak deal. Now, has he heard something? Potentially that Liverpool will still do a deal? Has he heard something there? You know? Or, I think that's interesting, if I'm being honest. There's a high chance of Ronaldinho joining that Isak. Yeah. I don't think Isak joins, guys, but I'm just trying to state the question. And whether do the people believe Isak could join the club? Or do they just straightforward think, nah, no chance. He's not going to be joining Liverpool. I did see some other things around Isak. Now, I'll see if I can find it in my bookmark. This is what Alex Crook has had to say. Despite spending £160 million on Wirtz from Kerkez, Liverpool aren't just done just yet. The Premier League champions are still interested in Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon. Now, for me, I think Gordon's probably the more likely one. with Luis Diaz potentially could be leaving the club. You've got the factor of many things. Diaz leaving, Gordon's going to be cheaper. We know last season there was a lot more concrete talks, and a lot of people thought the deal would happen with Gordon, but obviously that didn't come to fruition in the sense of obviously Newcastle managed to solve their current PSR issues at the current time, and so I still expect both of them to stay. If I'm being honest, I would love to get one of them. Just one. Bring me one. It's more the player wanting to leave than Newcastle refusing to sell. Yeah, I think if Liverpool was to get Isak or Gordon, the player and the agent would have to play a massive, significant role and say, look, I want to go to Liverpool. Other than that, I just don't see it. If I'm being honest, I just don't see it. So, I mean, I've just seen this dude tweet. You might have heard of him. As we're speaking about Isak, he's literally just tweeted Alexander Isak wants to play for Liverpool Football Club, and it's his dream link with Mo Salah and Florian Wirtz. Isak's agent has been informed that Liverpool ideally would need the player to request a transfer away. Hugo Ekitike is the backup plan only. Big up IndyKaila news, mate. But to be fair to this guy, right? Right, I know people are going to be going ballistic. Oh my god. Right. To be fair to this guy, he did actually get the Florian Wirtz news. He actually reported it months ago about Mr. Wirtz, and everyone laughed. And obviously, what happened? We ended up signing him. So, I mean, hopefully, he could be right again. That would be ideal. But yeah, big up Indy, man. But I would take what he says very much with a pinch of salt, if I'm being honest. But yeah, guys, that is some of the latest Liverpool news. Let me see what else we have got to go over. If you've not seen, this came out last night about Milos Kerkez. Milos Kerkez, dad to Kerkez. You believe in Liverpool? You're going to Liverpool. Milos Kerkez. Yes. It's actually getting mad. Like, he has basically announced his move. He's announced it. That's why Liverpool fans should not be worried one bit. Even Fabrizio, literally, my cat could say yes. Don't worry. Do you know what I mean? Go and have a look at the interview as well. I would play it, but I don't want to get it copyright. This is what his dad's saying, quotations. It's only Liverpool for us, and we're not going anywhere else. We don't want to talk to any other clubs. Everything is done between us, personal terms. We just need to sort out some details, but it's basically done. Kind of mad, isn't it? It's kind of mad, man. That he's basically just announced his own move. Kerkez acting sus for real Milos Kerkez twerks. Yeah. He is proper twerking, isn't he? Proper twerking. It's kind of funny, to be honest, but when does it get to the point where it does become a bit like, okay, It's a bit cringe. But he did also state this, that on his toughest opponent, I always said as most Salah, you always have to be there because so physical but also great technically. What else do we have to go over? So yeah, these are some other bits of reports. Liverpool have open talks on Malick Fofana's agent, apparently, and Liverpool, for their part, have made good progress in talks with Fofana's agents. As soon as the Reds offload an attacking player, they could make an offer. Hugo reported this, and I know this is a player a lot of our fan base like. Some people have mentioned it in the chat that they like this player. So, I mean, I've seen compilations of him. I've not, watched. I think I actually watched him a bit. I probably watched him 1 or 2 games in the Europa League. As well. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that story develops. And I think this is gonna connect to this. Hugo Ekitike is a concrete target for Liverpool. Liverpool are in regular contact with the people close to Ekitike. So I think that's the same situation with him. I don't think Liverpool are gonna make a move for Hugo until they've sorted out the situation regarding until they sorted out the situation with Darwin Nunez, Chiesa, all that as well. So I think you've got to take into consideration all those things. So yes, let's see what else we've got to go through in today's show. Ekitike and that Fofana are not good enough to go back. Well, I suppose we're gonna have to just wait and see, really, mate. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't worry too much. Also, I saw this about exclusive Milos Kerkez holding an LFC flag. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. But yeah, I think Ekitike is probably the name that's most likely to happen in my opinion. Let's see what else we got to go through. There's any more bits of news that we can go over. Gravenberch said this, apparently. Gravenberch is already looking for next season. We're already looking forward to the next season. We're hungry for more. Winning the Champions League is a massive dream. Yeah, I feel like that's like the goal now for a lot of our teammates. A lot of them are talking about they want to win the Champions League now. McAllister, big up to Philip in the chat, mates. Hope you're well, guys. By the way, we're 3 likes from 50. Can we end today's stream on that 50 like target? If that is possible, I would appreciate it. So let's try and hit that 50 likes. Also, make sure you are subscribing. Stay up to date with the latest Liverpool content. Big up to every single person in the chat. But yeah, the thoughts and feelings are basically around that Liverpool looks like a lot of our players do want to try and focus on the Champions League next season. Like I said, we've seen McAllister come out and say it. Now Gravenberch. Also, can I just say, what is everyone's thoughts before we wrap up the stream? We've done a good hour today. I might be back later for a watch along, potentially. However, guys, we are going to be doing the Trent Hang-Along tomorrow, so be there for that. This is what the R Sports tweet. What's your thoughts on the club FIFA World Cup? This is what some guy said. US crowds are so bad. Everything about this Club World Cup tournament feels so forced. The whole concept is useless. My thoughts on the Club World Cup is simple. It's a good concept, but how they've utilized everything is completely wrong. I actually don't mind the idea of a kind of a World Cup club type thing. It is kind of a bit like the Champions League. Like, you've got your group stages, then you've got your knockouts, then the final, and whoever wins it. It's basically just like another, Champions League. Obviously, it's for the world stage. But for me, I'm not. I've watched. To be fair to you, I've watched a couple of the games. Some of the games haven't been bad, but my God, some of them have been terrible. And I know people asking, are you going to be covering it? For me, obviously, if Liverpool was in it, I would be covering it in probably a lot more detail. But these are the up-and-coming games. I might do Dortmund later. I know tomorrow, I think I said what my plan is. I want to do mainly the big games. I know tomorrow I'm definitely going to do Real Madrid Al Hilal, because I actually think that could be a good game. We might do. I think what I'm going to do is the Chelsea, Man City, and Madrid games, because hate-alongs, and I'm going to do all the knockouts. I think that's my rough plan. Might do a couple of Inter Miami ones as well, Messi and that, because if I could pick a team to win it, it'd be Inter Miami, let the go win the trophy. So, yeah, we're one like away from 50, so if you haven't already done so, make sure you are smashing that like button. Big up to Philip in the channel, so get subscribing people to the channel as we are on that road to 1,600 subscribers. We're slowly getting a bit by bit there, and then the full road to 2K subs is on, as we want to try and hit maybe around my goal. I want to hit about 3K subs within the next around the end of summer. So that is the target. So yeah, big up to everyone. Make sure you are smashing that like button, you are subscribing, and we will be back potentially later if there's any news. If not, we'll have probably a video going out later today. So yeah, big up to everyone that's watched the stream. I appreciate you all, and yeah, take care of yourselves, and we will be back very soon on the channel. Take care and goodbye.